What is up? Alright, so I'm in the process of cleaning my table from the Easter crop so I can get it covered with some Mother's Day crap. Hopefully, my Mother's Day cards are going to be very minimalistic. They're going to be mass produced, and it's going to be mixed media, but I'm only really going to be using alcohol inks most likely. So hopefully that won't cause too much of a mess. Anyways, anywho, I wanted to get the stamps clean that I had recently gotten from Nifty. I don't clean stamps all the time, but this particular bunch of stamps are very dry, and I want to get them lubricated before I put them away so that they don't continue to degrade whilst I'm not using them. You know, who knows when I'm going to reach for them. So I just want to get them lubed up now before they get put away. And I'm going to be using 2 stamp cleaner pads. This one I use to get all the ink and grime off the stamp. This one I use for the rinse cycle, if you will. And I've got this is a solvent stamp cleaner, which I need to buy more of. I got this in a D-stash. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe it came off Craigslist. I'm not sure, but it's like stays on cleaner. It's a solvent-based cleaner, but I'm almost out, so I need to buy more. I don't love using that because it stinks so bad. But I'm going to use it for this purpose because I want to get the ink off the stamp so that the glycerin has a chance to absorb. Speaking of glycerin, I've got vegetable-based glycerin, and then the last thing I have is just plain water to go through the rinse cycle, if you will. So if you know me, you know I don't like to clean stamps, primarily because I'm lazy. That would be the simplest answer. I don't care how things look, but when I get dry stamps or when I have a stamp that's starting to dry out, I do clean the stamp. Or if it just has so much gunk on it, yeah, I'll clean the stamp. But only when it absolutely needs to be clean is when I clean stamps. So this one I wouldn't typically clean, but it's dry. Get all this shit out of the way here. So I'm not really squeezing the bottle. Doesn't need to be squeezed. I honestly wish I could scrub this without it. More of it coming. I'm going to let it sit there for just a second. I really want this stamp to pull through. It's not... This one's starting to degrade a little bit. It's not cracking, which is good, because you can definitely see that when you stamp. But the rubber is degrading. It's starting to... It looks crumbly, or it looks rough. And I really want this stamp to pull through, because I don't have any Thanks in the Melon stamp, you know. It'd be really cute to have a Thanks in the Melon stamp and use like my watermelon dies. Do I have a watermelon die? I have a lot of fruit dyes. I'm sure I have a watermelon. I think I do. That's looking... Alright, it took some of the ink off. I think I'm gonna have to go in again. I'm gonna not tip the bottle upside down this time, because I am running out of this solvent. I could use, in a pinch, petroleum jelly. If you've got petroleum jelly around, that is a solvent. I know. I know. Why would you stick solvent on your skin? I don't know. My mom told me that a study came out that petroleum jelly, which once upon a time was a very popular baby shower gift, causes, they call it cancer elbow because people put it on their elbows all the time, but it's a derivative from oil and from crude oil. So yeah, don't put petroleum oil on your, or petroleum jelly on your skin, guys. Alright, that is looking pretty clean. I don't like using baby wipes, one, because that's already feeling much more supple. Yeah. If the rubber behind the letters wasn't degrading so bad, I would honestly skip the glycerin because this feels so supple. Maybe I should stop saying the word supple, but so I want to make sure that I'm not leaving any solvent on the stamp. So then I usually take my water bottle, give it a good spritz, and then I take the clean pad and wipe it. And hopefully there's minimal solvent, you know, from that's left over from the stamp transferring to this clean pad, because I don't want to leave a solvent on rubber. That's just going to make it worse. So that feels really good. Okay, so I've got this brush. Don't mind the rust on it. I leave my brushes sit in cups of water, and these are aluminum brushes, so they rust. So, then I'm going to put a drop or two of vegetable glycerin on the stamp and just brush it on. Making sure all surfaces are covered. And then I'm just going to put it off to the side and let it sit. Actually, come on, man. Come on, man. Okay. I've got a container that's only mildly covered in hair. Alright, we're just going to let that sit in the container. It's a bad one. This one, it's supple and clean, and so I'm not going to do anything with that. That one's good. So this one is actually really supple, but it's covered in crap. There's glitter in, I don't know if it's paint or, I don't know. So we're going to clean it because it's covered in crap, basically. What's my time? 1 minute. We'll do it like that first. Oh yeah, too much solvent, Chelsea. Too much solvent. It's gonna... Your hands might get a little inky doing this. Yeah, okay. Wow, that really didn't do much, did it? Alright, I'm going to get this solvent saturating that stamp and leave it off to the side. I really don't know what's on that stamp, and so whatever is on it may take a little bit more time. This one's feeling kind of dry, but it's not very stained, so I'm just gonna work on it a little bit. And then that looks pretty good. Yep. Spritz of water. I really don't know how this one's gonna stamp because the rubber is coming out so much further than the black foam. This was a hand-mounted one, obviously. I mean, they're all hand-mounted. You get what I mean. I may take some hot glue and just squirt some hot glue along the top here so that the top part of the stamp has something, or is this the bottom? The top part of the stamp has something firm behind it because there's no foam there. And I do not wipe the glycerin off. I just set it off to the side, and then when it's absorbed, I throw it in my stamp drawer. If it's not a sentiment, if it is a sentiment, then well, I guess, okay, they're both technically drawers. If it's not a sentiment, I throw it in my Sterlite drawer tubs, and then if it is a sentiment, I throw it in my cassette. Cassette drawers. Dirty one. This one is really supple. Again, it's got some weird media on it, so this one may not need glycerin. Oh yeah, that one's definitely starting to work. Yeah, this one I'm not gonna treat with glycerin. This one probably needs the glycerin. Okay. Let's see how this one does here. Oh, it's still, a lot was coming off, but oh my goodness. So, whatever's on the stamp will come off if I scrape it. Just gonna see. So I really would like this stamp to not be filled. I mean, you can tell in between the dots that it's just filled with crap. I just don't know what it is or why the solvent isn't being, I mean, it's definitely working. It's just not as proficiently as usual. We're gonna give that one another bath of solvent. 18 minutes. This one's really dry, but it's clean. So I'm just gonna hit it with some glycerin. I'd rather not put solvent on my stamps whenever possible. And I primarily use dye ink, which I know is unpopular because it stains. But I really don't love smearing. Okay. This one is right on the edge, I feel. I'm just going to wasn't too bad. Yep, that's good. Alright, and then I'm just going to leave that be. That one I just want to brush with some liquid glycerin. That's not bad. And this one, that feels a little dry. Okay. That's all the stamps besides this one that's still dripping black goo. I mean, this stamp will probably be okay. I mean, it's still, the nubs that are exposed that aren't covered in whatever media this is are very supple, so I'm sure the stamp will still work fine, but I'd rather get that junk off of here so it can be properly cleaned. Alright, and then solvents are very stinky, so usually when I'm done doing this, I take these pads out and I rinse them out in the sink. I could care less if they're stained. You know, that's not the purpose of the pads, to stay clean, you know, so. Because if you leave the pads in there without cleaning them, it's just going to get stinkier and stinkier. I don't know why, just I would advise cleaning the pads. So I'm going to cut that video out there. I just thought I'd show me cleaning the stamps and conditioning them when they're, you know, caca. Alright, thanks for watching, and adios. Bye.